I know she gonna do it because won't she do it? Don't she do it every time? She do it for the cats. You should do it for the dogs.
And the
She's
possum
taking the birds,
and the squirrels
taking the squirrel, she's taking the sheep,
and
she's
the mice
taking.
and the rats and the
I'm
goats
taking a rat and a rabbit.
and the
I'll take it in.
chickens. Yes, the
If
hawks.
Santa Claus didn't have the reindeer living in the North Pole, they'd be living in Georgia with Jackie Reed.
A 3, a 2, a 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Read This, Read That. I am Jackie Reed.
And I am Joy-Ann Reed, the late, great Joy-Ann Reed, meaning I was late.
The very busy Joy-Ann Reed.
I just want to hear your wind down because last week in our previous episode, you literally shelved your wind down so I could do my insane road trip wind down. So I want to hear this wind down that we missed last week.
Yes,
I'll
it is.
sip while you talk about it.
It is an interesting thing. And yes, because a lot of folks, we got a lot of comments about your road trip. We'll get into that in a minute. Because this week we are going to share more comments. You know how randomly just kind of select
Totally
comments. We're just going to read some comments. But so yes, I am drinking my Prima Pave that you love so much.
Good.
In my Delta Sigma Theta glass that you can only have non-alcoholic beverages in because you are not supposed to drink when you are representing the letters. And let me be clear, this is non-alcoholic. So I don't want nobody coming after me from protocol.
Don't be in the comments like Soror.
I know, girl.
I saw you drinking.
My back is
the devil's beverage.
My back is a protocol expert. So whenever I have a protocol question, I reach out to her because she is Miss Protocol, man.
Protocol.
I mean,
well, I'm not drinking out of a Delta Sigma Theta glass, so this is absolutely alcoholic. This is Moet and Chandon champagne with raspberry liqueur and a little Saint Germain.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
Yeah, because I needed a drink today.
Yes,
it's early.
You did. I was about to hook you up to an IV with some alcohol and just get it to you quicker.
And I would have taken it. Thank you.
Yes, I know. Well,
yes,
I have a quick wind down. Just really quick, because I know you're going to have a lot of questions because I know how you are. But if depending on the direction you take in this, you're going to receive a gift or two. Because I've already been in touch with the daughter about it.
Okay. And I know what's coming, but go on. Share with the people.
Yeah, so she knows about this. And I told her, she was like, oh my God, you got it. This got to be your wind down. So I am an animal lover, and I love animals. I always have. I even thought about being a vet. So
she's Dr. Doolittle. If you
Google. I am Jackie Doolittle. That is for sure. So whenever I'm the girl that if there is an injured animal of any kind or in need, I'm going to pull over and help it. So anyway, where I live, there's a lot of woods. We somehow attract a lot of strays, like my stray dog, Bernie was wandering in my neighborhood, limping on one hind leg. Over a month would feed him whenever I saw him in the neighborhood and cultivated trust in a relationship. And now a year later, he's my dog.
By the way, can I just cut you there? Because I'm just going to speak from Bernie's point of view. Bernie didn't have no limp. Bernie saw you a mile away. And Bernie said, oh, I know how I'm going to get inside. Let me just go ahead and truck it home with a little bit like this here and try to look sad like this here. And if I do this, oh, I know Jackie Reed will take me in. He knew who you were. Dogs communicate with each other. They may not speak in regular English, but they know who the soft ones are. And he saw you a mile away and said, oh, I'm about to get inside.
Oh yeah, girl. Listen.
You're
I
gonna live
believe
inside.
I do believe that there's some truth to that. It is like far and wide. It's like the Underground
No,
Railroad. You just
they
got to
know.
make it. You just got to get there.
They
So
said
yes,
we's gonna be free if we just get on the railroad. The railroad goes through Georgia, and the railroad goes through the home of Jackie Reed. Jackie Reed is gonna save us from oppression. Jackie Reed is gonna save us from living outside. She is gonna save us. She is gonna take us in. If I just limp over to Jackie, it's limping like over to the Jordan. I'm gonna limp over to Jackie Reed, and she gonna take me in. Jackie gonna take me in. I know she gonna do it because won't she do it? Don't she do it every time? She do it for the cats. She do it for the dogs.
and the
She's
possum
taking the birds,
and the squirrels
taking the squirrel, taking the sheep,
and
she's
the mice
taking.
and the rats and the
I'm
goats
taking a rat and a rabbit.
and
I'll
the
take it in.
chickens. Yes, the
If
hawks.
Santa Claus didn't have the reindeer living in the North Pole, they'd be living in Georgia with Jackie Reed.
Listen, I
She's
am
our
thinking
Harriet Tubman, the Harriet Tubman of animals.
of animal. I'm the Harriet Tubman, Dr. Doolittle of animals. Girl, let me tell you, my neighbors are like, I
You
can't
know.
with her because I've always got food outside for animals because that girl, all kinds. So anyway, Bernie, my
Anyway.
dog, had him for a year. Yes, thank you for that word, Reverend. Yeah, so I have that dog. And so there are a couple of cats in my neighborhood that are strays. And so put food out for them. They come, you see them some days, day after day. Some days they disappear, then they come back. So this one cat, I noticed that her belly was a little big, kept watching her. Turns out she's pregnant. Now she's a feral cat, an outdoor cat, meaning not an indoor, no, she hasn't been domesticated. So I said, I can't let this cat have these kittens outside because there are too many predators. It's turning warm consistently here in Atlanta. That means fleas and mosquitoes and all those things. Hawks are everywhere. They could have picked up one of those kittens and just flown off. And how's the mother going to go and get food for herself? Put your finger down. How's it going to go and get food? No. What?
Question, pause.
I hate you.
Don't cats come from outside? I mean, cats have been having babies outside for millennia. They actually come from outside. They don't have babies in hospitals.
Let me ask you, you have a dog, right? If you let your dog if you released your dog out into the streets or took it to a forest somewhere, how would Nala survive?
First of all,
thank you. Where did your dog come from?
Nala came from outside. Nala was a stray that was born outside. So Nala, and if I open the door right now, Nala will be outside for about 4 hours. She wants to be outside 24/7, scampering through the world. Right, but here's the reality: Nala is domesticated. You just said that this is a non-domesticated cat. That means that cat been living outside.
That's with this cat, but you're acting like all cats just come from
all
the
of
wild.
them. They're related to like lynxes and lions and would you let a lion is from outside?
Girl,
cats are related to all cats.
Let me stop you because you went to Harvard. I can't let you say things like this because it is insane.
They come from outside, Jackie.
They do not.
They're animals.
They are not. It's just like saying that we should be walking on all fours like monkeys because one time we were cave people living out in the wild.
Cats are animals. Cats come from outside. It's just they've been domesticated and brought into our homes. But before people
over the years. So yes, not all cats are from the wild and not all dogs are from the wild.
But the cat that was pregnant in your yard is from the wild.
That one is.
She's been out there.
Yes, she is. But she's
been living wild for a long time.
But she coming to my house to eat. She's not saying, you know what, that kibble and that little canned cat food they putting out there.
Smart.
I'm gonna go kill a squirrel instead of eating this food that these people are putting out.
My brother's dog, he domesticated too. And you know what he do when he go in our backyard and go in them woods? Eat a squirrel, eat a rabbit, whatever.
Because y'all won't fix him. Because y'all won't nip his little balls off. Y'all need to fix that
dog. My dog. That's not my dog. That's a Rondolo dog.
If you fix the dog, he'll stop chasing squirrels, and y'all need to fix him because he don't need to have no puppies.
We had a dog named Turbo. You remember Turbo, little mean ass Turbo. Turbo would eat a squirrel too if he could get a mouth around it. Little monster. He would try to eat anything.
Turbo.
Let's go on. Let's move on. Move on with your story about a wild animal that just was smart enough to figure out who the sucker in the neighborhood was.
I'm talking about a lion that when I go outside, I got to run to my car because these cats think that they're actually lions and they're going to try to eat me. It is not that situation, lady.
No, but they're still animals who've learned to survive in the wild.
Do you know how many people will get cats that are feral and domesticate them and put them inside?
You can, because cats are smarter than people. Cats are smarter than us.
People have skunks as pets.
No, but cats, because these animals figure out that human beings can be domestic. We're the ones who get domesticated.
Like if you took a feline cat, like a cat, not a lion, and dropped it off in the jungle in Africa,
it would survive because they animals. They know what to do. They figure it out.
It would get eaten day one. These cats. Tell me the last time you were on safari and you saw just a little kitty cat. Just run through the wild. It doesn't exist. Tell me the last time you were there and you just saw a hound dog, a beagle, just running along with the giraffes and everything. It does not happen. Stop it with the insanity. What are you talking about?
It's the circle of life, and it moves us all.
Where were the kitty cats? Where were the little meow? Where were those cats in the Lion King?
No, because in the wild, that cat is a lynx. That cat is just they adapt to where they are. They're bigger. They're just like a lynx.
Girl, stop it. That next you're gonna say that we're like monkeys. If we were out in the jungle, that we would eat bananas and just hang out in trees. It's just not true. What are you talking about? Stop it. Stop.
I've interrupted your story for too long. Please continue with your wind down while I drink this alcohol.
Thank you.
I truly need now.
This audience is why I do not talk about animals with her, because this is why. Because this one, she has all of the intellect that this woman has, all the brilliance of this mind when it comes to animals. She is like a 6-year-old. She has the education of a 6-year-old when it comes to animals. This is why I don't talk about it.
If I come to your house and there's a cow in your living room, we're going to have a really good talk.
I would have the cow outside because cow would not want to
Why not? But why not? Who's to say a cow doesn't want to sleep on your bed?
You have to have a barn for a cat.
But why? But why can't they sleep like us? Why can't they be like us and just sleep in a bed?
I'm going to call you Tabitha when we have these conversations, because that's a name that seems like a 6-year-old's name. Tabitha.
Tabitha. Tabitha.
I can't even get through the story.
Get through the story. I'm sorry.
You keep poking your little 6-year-old finger up with these crazy thoughts about the last time you were on safari and you saw a group of little kitty cats.
The safari, not me.
See?
Tabitha mad.
Anyway, I took the cat in. It was pregnant. It had kittens. The end. I'm done. I'm not sharing these stories with you.
Wait, no, you forgot the most important part. What are you trying to do with the kittens?
No, I'm not having this conversation with you, Tabitha. I'm not. Because this is just a setup for you to have more crazy thoughts on animals. I can't with you. No, we're done. I'm done. The end.
She tried to get me to take one of the kittens, family. She wanted me to take it. I bet she doesn't want me to take it now.
No, I don't. Because you think all animals should be in the wild. It's crazy.
From the wild.
I'm not, Tabitha. I'm not with you. I'm not. I am not. We're done here. Poop. End of story. I'm drinking. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, I'm not doing it. But if anyone does want a kitten, I do have 5 beautiful kittens that will be up for adoption in about 6 or 7 weeks. So let me know. They're so adorable. There's a couple that are tiger striped. No, Joy-Ann, they are not from the tiger family. They just have stripes. And a couple that are 3 are tiger striped and 2 are black and white like their mother. No, the mother was not, there wasn't a tiger that had sex with her. It didn't happen. I know you think lions and kittens have sex.
They're related.
They're not. They are not. They are not. We're moving on. That was my wind down, my half wind down that was interrupted so rudely by Tabitha, the 6th grader that's 11-year-old. You need Jesus.
Miss Reed, can I go to the bathroom?
No, you hold it. You hold it, Tabitha. You cross your legs. I'm done. So now it is time for our amazing segment, Shit You Need to Know.
Because you need to know.
Because you need to know. And this is, as we say, it's a new segment that we're doing to keep you up to date on a lot of the political happenings without overwhelming you. There's so much information out there that you need to know. We're going to condense it down into just a few things that you need to know about, give you some background on them so you can be in the know and move forth in the world informed. Because even though many of us want to take a break, we still need to know what's going on, right?
You do.
Well, you don't have to dig in. Just watch, read this, read that.
Just watch this, read that. We got you.
So a couple of things we want to make sure that people are still doing is putting the pressure on Senator Chuck Schumer. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's working. What's your take on that? Because a lot of folks are upset with him in the Democratic Party. There, and we have his number there. Call his office. Let's let him know, because our power doesn't end in the voting booth, right? That's not where it ends. We can still participate in this process, and we need to be more vocal. And now more than ever, you all see everything that's going on. So there's been this effort underway, Joy-Ann, to put pressure on Chuck Schumer to step down, and also to put pressure on other congressional leaders to push him out. Where do you stand? Because he has been making the rounds, doing a lot of interviews, defending himself, saying he believes he did the right thing.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Is the pressure from people working? Because it's a lot of pressure.
So I would say that it is and it isn't. So, Chuck Schumer obviously cleared the way by corralling 9 Democrats and 1 independent to vote through Donald Trump's monstrous budget that cuts Medicaid, food stamps, Meals on Wheels, etc. And in doing that, he showed incredible weakness. And the problem is, as the saying goes, nature abhors a vacuum. And right now, because the Republican Party is so all lined up behind MAGA and Doge, they're running roughshod over our government. And the only people really standing up to them are some of the courts. You've had a few courts, even in a couple cases, the Supreme Court slap him down, but he's even like low-key defying them. So if the only other check and balance on Trump is Congress, and since Republicans have the House, they are mowing down any attempt to rein him in. All we have is the Senate, where we have this thing called the filibuster, which used to be used to stop civil rights legislation, and which Mitch McConnell used to shut down Barack Obama's agenda after he got Obamacare through. Not only is Chuck Schumer refusing to use the power he has in the only body with a filibuster, he's rolling over, and he's still out there doing this explaining tour, trying to justify being a pushover. Well, if you're not willing to lead, you need to step aside, brother. You need to step aside, sir, because you are clearly not built for this moment. And he is one of the people who broke it to Joe Biden that he needed to step down and that he was too geriatric to run for re-election. So why doesn't that same thing apply to you, sir? Right. Why are you not either stand up, man up, butch up and fight this guy and fight this autocracy, or step aside and let somebody else do it. There are plenty of people who I think would be willing to fight hard. Clearly, Chuck Schumer ain't about that life. So it's surprising to me that there hasn't been a bigger groundswell. But the groundswell is mainly coming from House members who feel really thrown under the bus by him because the House locked arms and all but one Democrat voted against this awful budget and against letting it go through and against it, period. And Hakeem Jeffries was able to hold his coalition together, all but one, whereas literally Chuck Schumer whipped a vote to make it go through. It just makes no sense. So there is a movement. It's mainly coming from the House. He's out on this explaining tour, trying to insist he's still the man to lead the party. I don't know anyone, and I talked to a lot of Democrats, whether they're Senate or House. I have not talked to a single Democrat that I have spoke to that I know that are in or out of government who believes Chuck Schumer is the right man for the job. I'm just saying from the people I've talked to who span from progressive Democrats all the way to sort of centrist. I haven't spoken to a single one who thinks Chuck Schumer is right for this job. So the same thing that should, it applies the same way. If you're not the man for the job, then you need to let someone else do it who's willing to be stronger. So I think this is the time to call your House member or your senator and tell them what you want. Tell them what you want them to do, because as Jackie said, your job doesn't stop at the voting booth. There also, by the way, I want to note for people in Wisconsin, there is a crucial vote coming up for the Supreme Court of Wisconsin. That vote, I believe, is April 2nd or April 1st, whichever day is the first Tuesday in April. And that's going to determine whether Democrats or Republicans control the Supreme Court in a very critical swing state. That means voting rights are on the table. Rights of women in Wisconsin, rights of union workers are in Wisconsin. Please turn out to vote if you're in Wisconsin for that Supreme Court race, and do not let another conservative, right-wing Samuel Alito style Project 2025 conservative get another Supreme Court seat there.
I can't. Okay. So we'll see what happens with that.
The work never ends.
It never ends. We want to talk about the Target boycott, the Target fast. So that's still going on. Started on March 5th, goes through April the 17th, delivers us just into Easter. Go to targetfast.org if you already haven't, to sign up for that and stay out of Target. The goal now is to not give them those Easter dollars. I know y'all are going to be tempted to roll up in there, to get ready for Easter and get that Sunday best. Go elsewhere. Do not go to Target.
Get on your Google and find you a Black-owned hat maker, because I know you ladies want to get in your Easter hats, and I know you tempted to go into Target and get your Easter hat.
Yeah.
Your bonnet. No. Get your Easter hat at a Black-owned shop. There are plenty. I was just trying to look up. There's an incredible Harlem hat shop that goes back way, 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 way back, and it's one of the top Harlem hat makers, and they're so good. But there's several of them that you can find, and you can just Google and you can find them. We'll put some of them. Maybe we'll put some of them in our newsletter.
We'll
put it in the Substack.
Yep, absolutely.
We're gonna find some in the Substack and put them there, so you guys can find some great Black-owned hat makers where you can get your hats. You can get them online. Start ordering them now, because smaller businesses might take a little longer to ship. So be a little more patient. You're not going to get overnight like Amazon, which you also should not really be supporting, because Jeff Bezos ain't with us either. But bottom line, if you can, if it's possible, support a Black-owned business, a small business, and give them an extra few days to get that to you, because it's worth it.
That's good stuff. I love that. Okay. Last but not least, we are talking about something that has been developing, and there's some new information that people are calling it Signalgate.
Yes.
I don't know if that's stuck, but I've seen it being called that. And this is, and I'll let Joy-Ann, you go into more details, because I know you're following this thing, as it develops. But apparently there was a group text on an app called Signal, which we're on. A lot of people are on Signal in group text. Group chats, but it was I can't. So it was. I'll let you talk in detail about who was there, but it was a lot of people from the Trump administration, including the Secretary of Defense, and Secretary of State, and some others, and they were talking about confidential military information, defense information. It is crazy. And they accidentally, within this group text, included a journalist from The Atlantic.
The editor of the Atlantic, actually. He's like the editor of the Atlantic.
Yeah, from someone from the Atlantic is part of this, and privy to all this information, which had to do with activity that was taking place in Yemen. So, Joy-Ann, give us more detail, because this is, a lot of people might hear this and be like, well, what's the big deal? Explain it. What's the big deal about this? And before you say that, we do have a video from your fellow Machete, Tiffany Cross, talking about this on CNN. Let's see if we can roll that real quick.
Ridiculous. It's not only a national embarrassment. This is a national emergency, John. And I just feel like anybody who has the temerity to come on air and try to defend this. Scott, you just said that they're apologetic, or that they've admitted some sort of wrongdoing. We just heard the defense secretary deny this whole thing and instead choose to attack Jeffrey Goldberg, who did the responsible thing by not reporting out everything that he heard on this, or read on this signal chat. When this happened, I actually talked to some friends who worked in Intel during the Obama administration and the Biden administration. And I asked, how do you normally communicate about something like this? And there's a skiff that you have to have the highest security level to participate in these conversations. You go in a room where there's no electronic devices allowed. There are no windows. It's taken very seriously. And this is what happens when you have a man whose first job in government was as president of the United States, who's politically inept, who employs people who are politically inept. There's nothing funny about this. We're putting our people who serve this country at danger, and we're asking people to believe nonsense. And this is a travesty. Do we think President Xi of China is tweeting or texting about his national security plans? Do we think Vladimir Zelensky is texting about his plans? Do we think President Vladimir Putin is spoon-feeding Russian talking points to American diplomats even on Signal? This is a thing that people use to talk to their side pieces, something Pete Hegseth would certainly know about. This is something that people use to talk about March Madness. It is a crisis that we need to take very seriously, and we can't present this as journalists. We cannot present this as though these are two opposing political points of view. This is a serious issue that we need to take seriously. As a patriot, Scott, I find it really troubling because they ran on this whole idea of this pseudo-patriotism, this regressive masculine patriotism, yet everything they're doing runs against making America great. Well, it was never great, so I'm not going to say the again part, but making America great. You're trying to defend the indefensible. I absolutely feel that way. I absolutely feel that way. And I think if you had the history that my people had in this country, that you might have a modicum of understanding and respect for that. America was never great for me.
I think when we talk later about why the Democratic Party is so unpopular,
I'm not here to represent the Democrats. I'm here representing me, and I think it is a common understanding that America may have been great for you. It was not great for me. I think there are people who want her to fulfill that promise. But the point of this discussion right now is the national security of this country, which your party put at risk. I'm not a member of the Democratic Party. I'm not here to represent them. But for me as a journalist, I'm telling you, this was a huge problem. So instead of attacking Jeffrey Goldberg, what they could do is act like men and own this mistake, since they ran on this regressive masculinity campaign, act like men and say, you know what, we failed. But instead, what you heard was this president yet again lie and say, oh, I don't know anything about it. Soon enough, it's going to be, I don't know this Hegseth guy that well. It's a consistent party of lies with this guy. And it's disturbing that there are so many people willing to defend this instead of saying, yes,
baby.
Bravo. Very well said.
Brava.
Good stuff.
Amen, sister. She broke it down.
Right?
I don't think there's not much more to say. I think she's explained it to you very well. All I will add, the only thing Tiffany Cross left out is that these people, you're talking about the Director of National Intelligence, Mike Waltz. You're talking about, what's her name? Tulsi Gabbard, she's the Director of National Intelligence, which makes absolutely no sense. National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz. You're talking about Vice President J.D. Vance, who's basically Peter Thiel's little friend. You're talking about, and the leader of the group chat is Pete Hegseth from Fox Weekend, who, for whatever reason, replaced a 4-star general to become our Secretary of Defense. This is a cartoon administration running a cartoon show instead of an administration. It has been called everything from incompetent to amateurs, and that's just Republican conservatives saying it. This is a clown show. And the fact that they're on Signal, there's so many problems with it. Problem number one, Signal is a privately owned app. That, as Tiffany so brilliantly said, that is not where you discuss national security stuff. And they're like, well, nothing classified was released on there. Excuse me. I think an actual plan to bomb the Houthis, a foreign adversary, is itself classified. You're supposed to talk about that in a SCIF. What they call it, and a SCIF is a secure facility where you go into a room, as Tiffany described it. It's a secure facility where you go in, you have to leave, you have to check your phone in, and only, it's like you discussed that in the White House. To see, the national security apparatus inside the White House, right? There's a White House specific room for that. That is not where you discuss it. Number two, foreign adversaries want to break into Signal. It's two-end encrypted, which is why a lot of us have group chats on there. A lot of folks have it. It's secure, it's two-end encrypted, but foreign adversaries have been trying to hack into Signal forever. WhatsApp is less secure, and that's how people get got. Is that foreign company? They're usually on WhatsApp or they're on Telegram, which are less secure. Signal's more secure than them, but it's not secure enough to be used by the government. How is that better than when Pete Hegseth said Hillary Clinton should go to jail
for
having a server at her home,
that part
she had security on. McAfee had full security on her. He said she should go to prison for having that server at home and sharing emails back and forth on there using her private email. And then it turned out Trump administration people were also using private email. So she wasn't even alone doing that. And they said that should have been a crime.
Right.
Pete Hegseth himself said she should go to jail for the emails. Now he's literally chatting on a group chat about, and when the great thing about when you read the Atlantic story is that when Jeffrey Goldberg gets added to this group chat, because you and I have both been added to group chats where you didn't ask to be added, but you get added. Right. He's at first thinking, there's no way that I'm in this real group chat. He thought it was a foreign conspiracy to pretend to be members of the Trump administration. So he held back and just lurked and listened, thinking this got to be fake. And then everything that they said was going to happen, he went and sat in a parking lot on the day of the designated day in which they said the bombing would begin. He's sitting in a parking lot waiting to see if he hears the news that they actually bombed the Houthi rebels, who, if you don't know who those are, they are Muslim rebels inside of the country of Yemen who've been fighting a civil war inside Yemen for control of that government. But they're also very anti-Israel and very anti-American, and they're very pro-Palestinian and have been blockading the straits. There's a watery strait where a lot of oil gets moved in the Middle East. And a lot of our oil that we buy from countries in the Middle East gets moved through this strait. They've been bombing it and dropping bombs on the ships that are bringing oil out of Israel or to America as a protest against the bombing of Palestinians in Gaza. This is their protest. They're bombing it, right? And so the U.S. has been bombing them periodically in retaliation. So that's who the Houthis are. They are a rebel group that are named after a guy whose name was Houthi. Mm-hmm. Literally, the bombing takes place exactly when the group chat says it's going to happen. He's like, oh, shit, this is real. This might really be these people. But he's so careful and so concerned about posting classified information, which is illegal to do, that he doesn't give details in his story. He talks about what happened, but he's like, I'm going to withhold things that might be classified so that I'm not releasing classified information, but I'm going to describe these things to you. But baby, the stuff he put in there, these people, when they bombed the Houthis, they did a great job. Kudos a thread, which they're using emojis
and everything. They're got
using emojis, fire emoji, heart emoji. What are these people, 12? These people in the federal government are tweeting high five emoji, fist up emoji, heart emoji, fire emoji. It's like, what are you guys in high school? This is insane. Even my kids who are in their 20s don't use emojis. You guys are adults. You're adults. And these people are such a cartoon. They are so unqualified for their positions. And I have coined this term called mediocrity. And a mediocrity, a kakistocracy is when the worst people are governing you. We're that. We're definitely that, right? An oligarchy is when the rich govern you, or plutocracy. Those two things are the rich. We're that. But we're also a mediocrity. A mediocrity is when just straight up mediocre people are in charge. And the mediocre people being in charge is also a message to the excellent people that you can never be the boss of the mediocre people, because the mediocre people are in the approved group. So they're the preferred race, they're the preferred gender, they're the preferred class. They are preferred even if you are exceptional, like Lloyd Austin, the former defense secretary. You can't be defense secretary because you're black. It's got to be a white guy. And it literally can be any white guy. It doesn't have to be like a really talented white guy, really brilliant white guy. Just as long as it's a white guy, he better than you. And that is what a mediocrity is. It's when it's a signal to people you can never make yourself excellent enough to ever get these opportunities because you're not in the preferred group. The preferred group will triumph even if they are thoroughly mediocre. And baby, when I tell you this administration thoroughly mediocre,
thoroughly.
And mediocre might be actually generous.
Yeah, it might be in this instance. All I know is if this happened on Biden's watch or the Democrats' watch, the Republicans would not let you breathe without hearing about it. They would be in full formation, criticizing hearings.
Everyone would have to resign.
What are the Democrats going to do? This is their
so
opportunity.
The media, Jackie, not just the Republicans,
and the media too. Yeah,
they would be when Lloyd Austin had cancer surgery and didn't inform the president that he was going under anesthesia for 24 hours.
Yeah,
when the media was ready to drag his body through these streets, honey. Yeah. I watched mainstream media hector this man to the point where he had to apologize. He offered his resignation damn near. He was ready to resign over literally being treated for cancer.
Yeah.
Because they were like, anything could have happened. You could have been under, and that's true. He should have informed Biden. But the reality is they were ready to drag this man through the streets of America.
Yeah.
And this dude is a 4-star general, totally qualified, totally respected by the troops, a war hero, bars all over him. This dude from Fox Weekend to replace him. And he is talking on Signal. Last thing I will add, you can't use Signal because it has disappearing messages.
Yeah.
That means a Freedom of Information Act request would be worthless because if they're speaking on Signal, it's illegal. Government has to communicate through government email, which is preserved forever and ends up in the National Archives. That's why Hillary Clinton, what she did, that's why she got in trouble, because she was communicating in an off server and there was no way to necessarily preserve the emails coming from her. The only way you could preserve them was the emails to a person with a government email then would respond to her. That's the only way you could preserve the emails. So the way that Hillary Gate started is that I think it was Gawker or some website wanted her emails and she didn't keep them because they were on her personal server. They were like, she should go to prison for that. But they're using Signal like a group chat, like they teenagers.
Well, we'll see what happens in the coming days. But to your point, the media definitely needs to be all over this, like they were over Biden and his mental health.
And Hillary Gate.
Like, where's George Clooney? Come on, George. Where everybody and Hillary Gate and the Democrats need to also, this is their chance to show some backbone. Chuck Schumer wants to save his job.
Call for him to resign.
Show up.
Where are the Democrats screaming Pete Hegseth should resign
or
be fired? Where is that?
What I'm saying. Where
That's why they want Schumer to go. That's why people want Schumer to go. Where is Schumer to say this man should resign? Why is Sheldon Whitehouse saying that? Why is Pete Buttigieg saying that? Why is even, what is his name? Martin, whatever his name is, that's the head of the DNC. He said it.
Yeah.
Where are the Democratic leaders? Speak up.
Yeah. Come on, y'all. Shit or get off the pot.
Come on. What's your job? Like, you guys don't have actual power.
Do your job.
You can weigh in.
Yeah.
Get off your asses, man.
It's criminal.
Come on.
Right, and that's shit you need to know.
That's the shit you need to know.
So, Joy-Ann, I'm so happy to bring back to Read This, Read That, Omar J. Dorsey, who, he is definitely a cousin of ours. Yeah. Last time we had him on the show, we discovered that he is from my hometown. We went to high school right around the corner from each other and didn't even know it. He went to the second greatest high school in DeKalb County. No, let me tell you, this guy, is not only just one of the coolest people that we know, he is a phenomenal actor. Most people, I would say, still at this point, even though he's white famous now, Joy-Ann, he's coming to us brand new. He brand new since he's been in his show Bookie.
For real.
And he done moved out to LA and got married and got a baby. He's a whole different guy from who we had.
But he still talks to us. And so that's why we love him.
We love him.
He don't act like he don't know. It's like, who you? Why y'all talking to me?
He don't do that. He don't do that. But Omar Dorsey, you guys, has been in so many hit television shows and movies. Most recently, though, he was on this show that you all still have to watch. I'm mad that it ended after 2 seasons, but that is Bookie. It is so good. You guys gotta take it in. I mean, you can still watch it, but unfortunately, there won't be a season 3. But we're gonna unpack all of that. And just for those who are like, I didn't watch Bookie, I've seen him in so many things, and I think it's fair to say, Omar, that what most people still know you for is Hollywood from Queen Sugar.
Hollywood.
Sure. And I'm sure people still call you that as you walk down the street. But welcome back to Read This, Read That, cousin. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Jackie? How you doing, Tabitha?
Why you gotta do me like that? See, I was on your side. I was trying to help you.
Listen, he's my homie. He can't help it. He got the back. Back because I know too many of his people.
That's right.
From the second best high school.
That's all right. Hey, Southwest DeKalb is the best. I ain't gonna even front.
There we go.
I can't lie, man.
It's all good.
Some of the greatest people in the world went to that school.
But you know what, Omar? You were at Columbia. Did you leave and go to Avondale when it became performing arts?
What happened was this: in the 8th, because we started high school in 8th grade when I was there.
Yeah.
So in 8th and 9th grade, I went to Avondale, and I was a little bit of a delinquent, so I got kicked out of the School of Performing Arts.
So you were Tabitha at the time, is what you're saying?
Listen, man, I was bad. I was just rambunctious, as my mama would say.
Yeah.
So I got put out of the School of Performing Arts, which is Avondale, and went back to my home school, Columbia. But I just worked to get my grades back up and everything, because I really wanted to go back to the School of Performing Arts because I really love acting and I like playing the piano. And I was like, I want to go back. I love Columbia so much. But I was like, my heart was, getting back into that program because they always had the plays. You can do plays year round, not just one time like we did at Columbia. So by 12th grade, I ended up going back to Avondale, the School of Performing Arts, and graduated from there.
Nice.
What was it like for you as a young Black student, male student, right? Mm-hmm. Especially, being somebody who was getting into trouble here and there. I'm sure, you hung out, you wanted to impress your friends. And what was it like for you to make the decision to go into performing arts, and worry at all if you did about what your friends would think and what people around in the neighborhood would think? Was that ever an issue for you?
Just being from Decatur, right? It's not the inner city, so it's people who are from diverse parents are from diverse places, everywhere. It's a hodgepodge, and it's a lot of middle-class Black people who moved to that part of town.
Yeah.
So they were really wide open. I played sports. I was doing piano and clarinet and theater at church and all of that. So it was, my whole neighborhood was like that. My whole neighborhood was in the band, it felt like, what I'm saying? Everybody played an instrument, and we all had a band. Some people were good, some people were bad. Some people are still, music producers right now, and it's musicians and all of that right now. So it was nothing. It was just a part of life for us. It's like, it wasn't like the stigma that's on you because you wanted to be a dancer or you wanted to be an opera singer. It's just like, oh, that's really cool. At that time, especially in the 80s and the 90s, it was cool at the time, Yeah.
Can I ask you this on this note? Because I think I'm so glad you brought that up, because I feel like we as Gen Xers, I can bring us all as Gen X, we kind of grew up at a time when in a weird way, there was less political correctness, but also a little more kind of honesty and openness just about kind of just life, right? Right now, we're living through, I just got finished watching, I don't know if either of you have watched Adolescence yet, which is the Netflix it's like a 4-part series about this little boy who's accused of killing his classmate. And it gets into the way that young men right now, and this is a little white young man, but it's happening across the board, right? This is in England, but I think it's happening here, there, and also among Black and brown kids as well. The way the manosphere has captured young men and the way it's kind of isolated them in a very kind of misogynistic, angry, Andrew Tate relating kind of world. What do you make of that? Especially given the fact that Hollywood, the character a lot of us know you for, really was so evolved in dealing with a strong Black woman.
It's for younger men, right? For younger people, or even guys who don't feel like they have anything to hold on to, they look at the Andrew Tates of the world and like, hey, this is the guy I want to be like. He has all the power. Andrew Tate, of course, is a amazing fighter, right? It's like he's a strong man. He always has these women around him and all of this stuff, and talks this really wild stuff. And the guys who don't have anything else to cling on to, like, this is the type of guy who I want to be like. I don't know anybody my age who listens to Andrew Tate. You know, I mean, this is just not, or I don't know anybody my age that listen to him.
They exist.
There are a plethora of men who listen to him who are my age, but those are the type of dudes I hang with. You know, I hang with a bunch of, you know, husbands and fathers and leaders, because, you know, birds of a feather flock together. So it's something that I don't even think about Andrew Tate at all. I remember I was in an Uber one time and this guy was like, hey man, we're at a long ride, right? And he was listening to you know, some Manosphere stuff. And I was like, I put my earphones in because I was like, dude, I don't need to listen to this. This is not my life. But then, you know, after a while, he's like, hey, are you familiar with this guy? I was like, no, who is it? He says, Andrew Tate. I said, oh, I've heard of him. You know, I don't listen to him. And he was just, you know, talking to me. He might have been 30 something, right? And he was looking at the guy like he was like, I don't know, like Martin Luther King or something, right? Like he was their leader. And I was like, wow, this is really what you guys are into, huh? Might be the incels. I don't know what it is, you know. So it's like I don't know that word, but I do know that there are a lot of men who listen to it. I don't know if it's because they have this they exude this power about them that some people might not have, and they're like, well, this is the person who I can be like, or a person who I want to listen to. So it's really weird to me. That's just a whole different world from what I live, but I know it's out there.
Yeah. And that, you know, that kind of I just want to go back to what you were saying about the middle class that exists in DeKalb County and like what we grew up in. It's true. Like at our school, the guys who ended up and the girls who ended up getting into trouble were the ones who were trying to prove something and chase something else because that's not where they came from.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like I can think about the guys that I grew up with that ended up, you know, it was something that they had middle class parents. It was no reason, you know, for them to get. It was like they were just chasing something. But
it was, you know, and like you said, like, you know, look, we're from Wesley Chapel to Rainbow to Columbia to, you know, County Road. I mean, maybe not County. You get a little bit, you know, you get an element there. You know what I'm saying?
Come on,
Black Show Parkway, baby. You know what I'm saying? You got to get a little bit of that. Whenever you see a red lobster, you know what time it is. Yeah. But no, I mean, like, but especially where we're from, no, from the suburbs of that, right? Yeah. They might get around people, might want to once again have the fake machismo and that fake male bravado.
Yeah.
What's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. It's like, man, your mom is deacon at church, and your dad is, you know, the pastor. What are we doing here?
Right. Or your pastor, your dad owns his own business, right? Exactly. A very private, like it's crazy. And
oh, by the way, we used to have that when we were in Florida. You know, we were lived in Florida for 14 years. 2 of our kids were born there. Our 2 sons were both born in Florida, and we lived in Pembroke Pines.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is. Yeah,
you know where that is, right? Well, for a while, when our kids were in, but you know, we left when he was in 11th, and the boys were in like 9th and 7th grade. But before we left there, something arose in Pembroke Pines called the PPG, Pembroke Pines Gangsta. Oh, wow. And I promise you, these kids with doctor parents was doctors, lawyers, undertakers, all kind of professionals walking around trying to act like they were gangster. It was the funniest, most hilarious, and ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Like, these were middle-class suburban brown and black kids trying to eat.
Yo, it makes me wonder. I mean, you know, I never throw anything on the art, but sometimes it's like what we're glorifying a bit, right? You know, I'm the biggest hip hop fan in the world.
Same.
But there was a time where it's like, you know, man, the only thing I was listening to, at that time I was listening to Chuck D and Ice Cube. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But then after the Chuck D's sort of got pushed to the side by whomever it might be, and their music wasn't pumped up as much, then there was a time when it was really just the gangster stuff. And that's what was really getting into our heads, you know, maybe in the early and mid 90s. And we're like, okay, well, this is like what I think men should be. And this is what, you know, what men thought that women wanted. So, you know, maybe I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Like,
well, and coincidentally, that was the time when hip hop was very much glorifying Donald Trump, because Trump was like, he was in like some 60 some odd hip hop songs mentioned Donald Trump, and became a substitute for wealth. And so there, you know, hip hop went from the kind of Daisy age, which, you know, 3 Feet High and Rising, De La Soul, Q-Tip and the Tribe Called Quest, Q-Tip and Fife and them, and like really music that was fun and that was, like my early years in college was that. And obviously you had like LL Cool J that was like a kind of cool, but not like threatening, you know? And then it kind of went into this phase after, and I was a big PE fan as well. And then it just went left. Like there was a point at which, you know, NWA was like the most popular thing. And then everyone kind of fed off of that everybody were gangsters, everybody. And even the people from NWA were from the suburbs. These were not. They were from the suburbs too. And they were just doing what the recording industry wanted, gangsterism at a certain point. That's all they wanted. And so there was a feeding of that to the point where, you know, I've had conversations with people about like, what would the Notorious B.I.G. be doing now had he lived and had a chance to mature past Money, Clothes, and Hoes? Because he was such a great lyricist. If you go back and listen to Biggie, he's talking Money, Clothes, and Hoes, most of his songs. And it's like he had so much greater potential. And I feel Tupac got more of a chance to show his full range. Biggie, they both died too young, but at least we got to see what Tupac was capable of. With Biggie, it really stayed in Money, Clothes, and Hoes, if you know what I mean.
It really did, but he only had 2 albums, right? So it's like Tupac had a lot of albums. I mean, he had a lot of material, you know. So more material. Apocalypse Now, all the way to I say Machiavelli, you know, maybe you know, even though he was dead when that album came out, but that's like a 6 album run. And I love Pac, but I tell you what, it's like that. I'm just because I'm such a Chuck D fan. And such a political guy, like those first 2 albums were the ones to me. I love Tupacalypse Now, and I love Strictly for My N-Words. You know what I'm saying? But and he became angry. I mean, the third album, Me Against the World, was really good too.
Yeah.
Then he became angry. You know what I'm saying? Then he into the All Eyes on Me, and that was a very angry album. And you know, Machiavelli was an extremely angry album. You know, but it's a man's journey. So we see a whole loop of everything that he had.
I see why you and Dorian McKissick are BFFs.
That's my brother, man. I'm about to go to the house tomorrow. I'm going to the house tomorrow.
So he and actor Dorian McKissick, I think y'all been friends. Missick. I'm sorry, Missick. Have been friends since 7th grade because he's also from here, and he is an actual DJ. So he's always spinning. So I love that you all that
we used to rap together back in the early 90s. We It was on some Tribe Called Quest. We were really influenced by Tribe Called Quest. You know what I'm saying?
My favorite hip hop group.
Yeah, man. We were really influenced by them, man. This was before Cass came out, so we were on something. And then Cass came out. They do it better.
Listen.
Well, I want to talk about Bookie. I mentioned it because I still want you can still go and watch it on Max. It's so amazing. But before we get into it, I just want to I want to talk about it because people can go back and watch it, and you just absolutely should, y'all. It is so good, and you are phenomenal in it. But it's so well done. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how it got canceled. But talk a little bit about that, because I said I wanted to talk about, you know, some of our favorite shows end up, particularly with, you know, with Black characters that we love, don't even get a chance to get out the gate good before they're getting canceled. Like, what is happening? And I think about How to Die Alone, you know, which was recently canceled after the first season, but there's so many others. Like, what's happening in Hollywood?
I have no idea. So Bookie is created by Chuck Lorre, like the biggest writer ever. Him and Norman Lear are the 2 biggest comedy writers ever. You know, we shoot at Warner Brothers. There are 3 sound stages named after Chuck Lorre. You got Big Bang Theory, you got How I Met Your Mother, you got Bob and Abishola. So we're just like, how did this get happened? He calls me. He's like, I think they're canceling us. I was like, we just won all these awards. How does that happen? He's like, well, the data said this and this, and I didn't understand it. I don't understand.
Well, I can relate, my friend. Winning an award and getting canceled right after, kind of my life.
I made the text you. Me and Jackie were talking about it. I was like, I was so mad when that happened, and I think we happened the next week, and I was like, they don't want to see us shine, man.
Is it done though? I mean, a lot of shows will end up on another network. I mean,
we're you know, it's Chuck Lorre. He has a lot of relationships. I'll just say that. You know, I did a thing for diversity for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is a studio that you know, owns the rights to it, and they were like, Omar, Don't worry, we have plans, this, that, and the other. So, you hear that, and I talked to Chuck about it, and I talked to Nick Bakai, the other co-creator, and Sebastian Maniscalco, my co-star. Yeah. They were like, look, man, we're it looks like this might go somewhere else. We'll see. We don't know. In the meantime, I'm a free agent, and I'm moving as such.
By the way, so much. It has happened because Warrior, which is one of my other favorite shows. I watch Warrior. I love that show. I really love that show.
Yeah,
that's what happened with them. Is I think they were on FX.
Yeah,
and then they didn't renew them, but then they ended up moving on. I think it was Hulu or whoever picked it up. So I'm just hoping that the same thing will happen. That one of the other streamers will just see it and say, "Let's just run with it."
Well, it happened 911 ended up going from Fox to ABC, right? And what was the other one? Brooklyn Nine-Nine jumped network. Right. So often when shows get canceled, it happens. They go somewhere else. And so there's a possibility, right?
Especially a show like this that has the Rotten Tomatoes is like the highest comedy on television. We were just dumbfounded. We were like,
no
wait,
sense.
What? It is a top 3 show on the network. I just don't know what HBO is doing. It's funny. I was talking to Jeremy Piven about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, and he was like, I don't know how they canceled the show. I said it's just not the same HBO that it was like when you were on Entourage and I was on Eastbound and Down. It's not the same network where they just like the quality of the show or whatever. I think they're just looking for numbers, and if you don't know any of the numbers now with the streaming, right? You don't really share it,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't hope no bad feelings against HBO or Max, but I wish we would have had another at least another season to show it off, and hopefully, what I'm saying, we'll be able to get picked back up by somebody else. Like I said, I was talking to Chuck about it. He was like, man, I'm not going to say anything, but that's just what. Yeah.
What can Black audiences do? What can we do when there's a show like this to help support it? And is there anything that we can do?
I think a groundswell is good, right? Like if people really love a show and it gets canceled, right? Not just like how Queen Sugar, like we were like, okay, we've told the story, it's done.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a difference. But if it gets canceled, then I think that social media people can drum up like, hey, what is going on? What's going on? If there's a lot of people who are doing it at the same time, then the metrics will show that like there are people really watching this show and people really want to see this show, and let's bring it back. Because you know what? If a show gets canceled and there's so much buzz about why did the show get canceled, if it goes somewhere else, it's going to probably go bigger than it was where it was originally, because people who didn't see the show might say, what's all the fuss about?
Right.
And then go and watch the first 2 seasons like, oh my God, this is like really one of those shows.
For sure. And that did happen with Warrior. I think it was more popular when it moved.
Yeah.
But can you talk a little bit about, my sister's an actress too. It shouts out to June Carroll. And she and I have talked about the kind of change in vibe in Hollywood from 2 things: the strike, which I think changed the relationship between actors and the studios and showed that there's more, that the actors have more power than maybe the studios enjoy, right? And then also the anti-DEI fervor. Have you felt that kind of a shift kind of against actors? And also, has it been harder for you to work because of the kind of vibe of anti-DEI?
Not really. I'm really specific. I'm luckily enough, I've done enough work. Everybody's like, I want to hire Omar.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not new to the game. But it's I'll tell you the things that I've seen that change was COVID. First one. The second one was definitely the strike. And the DEI, I do think that like there are more Black shows that are getting canceled now. Yeah. Like it's funny, I was talking to a couple of other people from HBO's whose shows got canceled, who are on a couple of Issa shows. And like, I just don't know, especially women, it's like the Black Girl Sketch Comedy Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rap-ish, it's like, these like, yo, why did we get canceled after 2 seasons?
Yeah.
So I can see that definitely coming. Anti-DEI, I don't know if Hollywood really, maybe it does move like that. But I think for some reason, I think they always try to keep 1 or 2 Black people in. My manager just told me today, he's like, yeah, they got this part. And he sort of pissed me off when he said it, right? It's like, it's just part of this new show they want to, talk to you about. It's an old show that I would never, I don't think I would ever in a million years be on it. It's a remake of it. I don't want to say what it is, but
yeah,
I was like, I don't want to do that, and he specifically said it's the token Black guy. I was like, I don't want to be the token Black guy.
Oh my God.
And I said, like, even on Bookie, I wasn't token. It was my life and Sebastian's life.
Yeah.
It was me and my grandmother and my kids and my ladies and Sebastian.
And kids.
And kids. And Sebastian and his family. And then we go to work. And we like, you have your life, I have my life, and then goes to work. So it's like, I don't ever want to just be the token black guy. I don't like that. That's whack, you know. So
no, I mean, your career is full of so many amazing roles. I mean, really diverse characters, projects. I mean, really, you've had what a lot of people would consider a dream career thus far, with only great things to come. I mean, you know, but I do want to, I want to give people an opportunity to hear from you about your character, Ray, and about this show, Bookie, since it's still available and there's a way we can support it. Because I love what you said about, you know, there's your character, there's Sebastian's character, but you all, it's such great storytelling. It's such great character development in this. It's great writing. I mean, and it is just laugh out loud, spit out whatever you have in your mouth, what liquid you have in your mouth, funny. And a lot of heart. Like, it's so good. Like the music on the radio, like the yacht rock on the radio alone is just, so tell us a little bit about Ray and this whole story of Bookie.
Right. So the show is about a couple of guys who are bookmakers, right? In a world that is becoming extinct like the dinosaurs, because everybody has DraftKings and everybody has all these different ways that they can gamble on their phone. But there's still people out there who want to do bets with a person who they've known for 20 or 30 years and also get their money tax-free. You know what I'm saying? If they win. So it's just us, driving through the streets of LA, trying to figure things out. Sometimes we'll hit really big, and sometimes we'll take a real major loss. But my character, Ray, is an ex-football player who was down on his luck, who played in the NFL, blew out his knee, had nothing going for him. And one of his good friends was Sebastian's character. And, you know, he asked him to come along and start his bookmaking, come along on his bookmaking business. And, in the meantime, Ray has a grandmother who he loves with all of his heart, who he basically lives and dies for, and he wants to get her out of a really bad place. By the time he ends up coming up very big, then he moves her out from the hood to Brentwood. And with that, he also has a few children. And a baby mamas.
A few.
You're a stereotypical athlete, but what I love about Chuck is he doesn't write him as a stereotype, right? Yeah. I'm probably 4 inches taller than Sebastian, and probably 30 or 40 pounds bigger than him, but I'm not the muscle. I look like the muscle, and you would think I'm the muscle, but I'm not hitting anybody. It's not that type of world. I might intimidate, but if something happens, I might just look and see, oh, they're fighting, so I like that about him. And like you said, it's just the character, the show has so much heart, because Ray and Danny, I play Ray and Sebastian plays Danny. I mean, I remember the last day we were filming season 1. It was the wedding scene between my grandmother and Frank, the man who she marries. And I have this scene at the wedding with Sebastian, and I'm just talking to him. And Chuck walks over to me. He said, "You do know this is a love story between two straight men who have each other's back through anything." And it all clicked in my head. I was like, yo, man, this is a real love story between two best friends. So that's what I really love the most about it, man. And that's what I'm at. I mean, that's why I hope it comes back, because I just love working with Sebastian that much. Yeah. He's just such a great comedian, and it's like his comedy and my acting is perfect world,
Yeah. It's a great collaboration. You all have such great chemistry. I love it so much. So everybody, please watch Bookie on Max. I keep wanting to say HBO, but it's Max.
Yeah, we still call it HBO, Jackie. We still call it HBO.
Right.
It's just like it's the Gulf of Mexico. It's the Gulf of Mexico, and I don't care what anybody.
I know, man. You know what? I tell you, the best thing about Bookie for real is like you said, I've been on so many shows and so many things that this was the first time that I felt like I was able to carry a show, even though we were co-stars of the show.
Yeah.
And then it was like on Queen Sugar, it was a huge ensemble. On Ray Donovan, it is Liev Schreiber's show. Mm-hmm. On He's Gone and Down, it's Danny McBride's show. But on this, in Rake, the old show I was on, it was Greg Kinnear's show. But this show is really it's me and Sebastian. We are the faces of it. We are every image you see, every billboard is me, is he and I. And you know, it made me feel good that people watch the show because it's like, yo, man, I feel like I can put butts in the seats. I don't, despite what the analytics might say, everybody walks up to me and they tell me they love the show. No matter where I am, you know, people love it. So yeah.
When was the pivot when more people were coming up to you and recognizing you from this show than calling you Omar? And they calling you from
Hollywood.
Calling you Hollywood.
You know what? It's a different,
Hollywood.
Yeah, it's a different demographic. Like you said, like it's white people coming up to me now. I live near the farmers market in Studio City, and whenever I go in there, everybody just say, "Oh, I love Bookie. I love Bookie." But I don't really hang around white folk that much. I ain't gonna need to lie to you. I hang around my friends. I go smoke cigars with D Nice and Dorian. We kick it. You know what I'm saying? So
they say in Hollywood, or they just calling you Omar?
He's like, oh, Omar, they call. I know it. Like, and I just because I hang around black people so much, they're gonna always call me Hollywood.
Yeah,
and I have no problem with that. That's the greatest character I've ever played in my life. You know what I'm saying?
It's my personal favorite. I'm gonna be honest because I thought that character stood out so much in the cast and became a fan favorite. I think for all of us that watched Queen Sugar, because you know, this was the brother who we knew would like look out for us in these streets. You know what I mean? It's like that's the brother that's gonna do it. I have to ask you about, because since the last time you were here, cousin, you become a father. You got a what is it? How does that change you? How does that change, or does it change you?
Yeah, it changes you. I got like a 10-month. I'm almost 50 years old. I got a 10-month-old son, man, and so I don't get no sleep.
Well, you have a daughter also, right?
I got 2 daughters. They grown. I got 25-year-old.
Grown up.
You got grown up. A kid else and a baby.
I got a 21-year-old daughter. My daughter turned 21 yesterday. My 25-year-old is engaged to get married. So it's like, but now it's just like, man.
But wait, can we just back up on the fact that the light was at the end of the tunnel? You were almost free, my brother. Freedom was right ahead of you, and you said, "Let me go back and not sleep again and have another baby."
Joy, it's been so long, right? Because it's my 21-year-old. She's so self-sufficient. She's been self-sufficient since she was 3 years old. So it's like, oh man, I'm cool. I'm not doing anything. I mean, we can go anywhere. I told my wife, if we just look at each other like, let's go to Paris tomorrow. We got 4 days off. Let's just get on a plane.
No,
that ain't happening no more.
Nope.
I can't even go to smoke cigars without. Nope. All right, I gotta pack a bag. I gotta think about this and all this. I can't. It's like a whole different world. But
you incarcerated yourself.
I know, man. It's like, it was a surprise to both of us. Wait, what?
Surprise!
You did it before me.
I
didn't know that.
Well, wait, didn't you? I saw you pop up in a social media post where I commented where they had this a bunch of fathers taking their daughters to get their ears pierced. Was that? Oh yeah. Didn't you pop up in that and say you've been there?
Y'all been there, of course. Yo, my youngest daughter, she got to get her ear pierced like I don't know how many times. I mean, because she just kept like, she'll be moving when she gets it. And then for some reason, I don't know, she just wouldn't clean it. So it's like, we got to take it out and it's like all keloids. So we got to get it all, raw.
No. Oh
yeah,
my God.
Get it. So I think she really didn't get her ear pierced. She was like, officially, and it's good to go until she was like 15 years old, man. Because it was like, she was rambunctious. She was an athlete. She wasn't thinking about, but now she's a girly girl, so it is what it is. And shout out to her. She's about to go to medical school next year.
Nice.
So, good love to her. Yeah, man. She's going to medical school, and I got another one going in the nursery.
Love that.
I
don't know what my life is right now.
Listen, I gotta ask you: do you get back home to DeKalb County, Decatur?
Yeah, we got a house. We got a place out there, and we probably spend maybe 3 or 4 months a year there. We got a place in Brookhaven. So I'm there. I just did Celebrity Jeopardy. I did Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yes.
Gave it all the money to the DeKalb School for the Arts. So I get out there. I give a lot to the arts in DeKalb County and in Decatur. For the kids. So my presence in Decatur is very strong. Our presence in Atlanta is strong. All the mayors love me. So it's like Dre is my dude. I love Andre.
Do you go to the mayor's ball here?
I went to. Did you go this year? You went last year?
No.
So it was on my birthday.
I'm not a black tie.
It was on my birthday. And I was on stage with everybody, like, and every rapper and every musician shouted out. They're like, yo, it's Omar Dorsey's birthday. Happy birthday, Omar Dorsey. I was like, yo, I really am a fixture in this city, man.
Yeah.
And then Trey was in there, and the mayor was, I didn't get a chance to see the mayor. He called me the next day because he was all around. He kept seeing me across the stage. But yeah, man, I go to the mayor's ball whenever I'm in town, because it's always around my birthday. My birthday is December 22nd. So it's I pop up, man.
I love that you call him Dre.
That's Dre, man. Oh man, I know Dre forever. I know Dre. We were smoking cigars at Highland on Highland Avenue, man. That's my dude. And I remember when I was campaigning for him, me and Killer Mike, and I think Tip might have been the only people who was campaigning because Kasim is the dude. Because Kasim is the man. Yeah. But it's like I've known Dre for so long. That's my guy.
Joy-Ann, you would love this ball, the mayor's ball. When I tell you everybody comes out for this doggone thing, it's
fabulous.
It really is fabulous from what I hear. I've never been, but I'm,
Yeah.
I feel like Jackie Reed, you should get an invite next year, and then I'm your +1.
I will definitely get you an invite next. Jackie, if you want to go, if you've been in the city, if you've been in Atlanta, I would definitely get you an invite.
Let's do it.
Here, I moved back. I'm here now.
When did you did tell me you moved back? That's right.
Yeah, I moved back like the end of 2021. Yeah, okay, I've been here. So it's like my cousins. I got a lot of family here. My friends go. A lot of people end up going. It's just getting all dressed up.
Yo, but it's fun. But it was so cold that day.
It's not stuffy.
It was so cold. But you know what's so crazy was the next day. My birthday was on the 22nd, so it was on the 21st, and then by midnight it was the 22nd. That's when everybody started shouting me out. And then my wife had a surprise for me that she had a suite for me at the Mercedes Benz. Now, if I knew this, I would have packed, and we could have stayed at the hotel instead of going all the way home and coming all the way back because it was literally like
right there.
It was literally right beside where we were.
Yeah.
I was like, if I knew, she's like, I didn't want to spoil a surprise and this, that, and the other. I was like, man, we could have just got a room here because Killer Mike would come in and he had a room. He was like, you want to just get a room? Like, yeah, but no, maybe we should just go home because we got something. I didn't know she was surprising me with that. Yeah.
Yeah. There is nothing like going to a Falcons game at Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. Compare that. I used to go to the Giants games in New York all the time. Yeah. Nothing but white people. If you saw a person be like, hey, Atlanta's football games for the Falcons are so black.
I'm assuming. I mean, it's Atlanta. It's the capital of Black America.
No, but it's NFL. And when I tell you, this whole atmosphere is blackity black. Black.
And the game that we went to, it was the first game that Michael Penix started. So we had the black quarterback starting, and he balled out. Man, we had a good old time, man. He balled out, and we saw the future of the franchise and all of that. I'll tell you another good one, and I hate to say it, but New Orleans, the Saints games are like that too. And I lived in Bookie and Queen Sugar. I lived there 7 years. So I was like, I'm a hater of the Saints.
You should be.
For life. I'm for life, I'm a hater. But I give them their props, man. I mean, they come out, and then when the game is over, they all walk down. What's that? What's that? Poitras. And they party, especially if they win. They don't win a lot.
That is Joy-Ann's city. This girl.
I do love New Orleans. No, I love New Orleans. I do. Except for the fact that it should be Poitras, but they just like, we gonna call it Poitras just because.
That's what they do.
That's like Ponce de Leon here.
Ponce de Leon. I don't know Ponce de Leon. I know
Ponce de Leon.
It's Ponce de Leon.
Ponce de Leon. If you say it wrong, they know you ain't from there.
That's exactly what it is.
It's funny to watch the news and hear people say Ponce de Leon because nobody's saying Ponce de Leon.
You know what's so funny? I talked to some of my British friends, and I'm like, well, what state what state is Baltimore in? Maryland.
Maryland.
I just always ask them, I said, do you know what state this is? This is Maryland.
I love that.
We call it Maryland.
Merlin. It's called Merlin. Thank you. That's what it's called.
For real. And Baltimore.
Baltimore. That's what you know.
Baltimore. If you ride the train, that's what they call it. Baltimore.
Exactly. Not Atlanta. It's Atlanta.
Atlanta. Nobody has that extra T in there.
Why put that extra T? Why they throw the extra T in there? They don't need to be
in there for no reason.
I gotta ask you a little politics because I know you're campaigning for Dre. And so you definitely
Kamala, and for everybody, and for Stacey, and for
So what do you think? I think, Black men are to be commended for showing up for Kamala in the numbers that they did.
Yes.
And I don't want it to, I think the narrative that they are to blame or anything like that is a problem. It's problematic. But when we see things like Snoop and others, going to the inauguration and performing, when you hear, like, there are pockets of Black men who just couldn't bring themselves to vote for her, vote for Kamala. Like, how do we reach those? How do we reach those that still aren't, that really admire Donald Trump because they got a stimulus check, or, you know what I mean? Just little things like that. Any thoughts or ideas?
This country is very racist, right?
Yeah.
This country is also very misogynistic. And I don't think that people really got that. Yeah. I remember because D Nice was doing a lot of campaigning, a lot. And my next door neighbor, I don't want to start name dropping, but my next door neighbor is Bill Nye the Science Guy. Right?
What?
So
love him.
That is my dude. We sit and drink
martinis
all day, whenever he's in town. That's my dude. So he's heavily, man.
That's
great. He's from Southeast DC. That's what's crazy.
I did not know that.
He's from Southeast DC, man. Yeah, man. So
wow. Don't let that bow tie fool you, huh?
I know, right? For sure, man. So we were both, he was campaigning real heavily for Kamala. And I remember asking him, because me and Derek went to DC to do some things. And I said, yo, how's it looking out there? How's it looking out there? This might have been like a month, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the election. He just looked at me like, I said, for real? Because there's so much, we have so much energy. I thought it was, I thought we were there. He was like, man, it's not looking good, Omar. I'm not even going to lie to you, man. He said, we got to just keep doing what we're doing, keep doing what we're doing. I came to the realization that, like, man, I don't think, no matter who you put up there, until we can get past like the misogyny, I don't know. I don't trust America enough. And even women are misogynistic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know if we can wrap our minds. This is because I come from one of the strongest women in the world. I'm married to one of the biggest director and producers in television. My sister is Ava DuVernay. My old boss was Oprah. I'm used to women being in power and in command and being presidents. But some people can't wrap their mind around it. Yeah. So I don't know if it's just the men, if it's Black men. I mean, like I said, every Black man, I only know 2 dudes. I know a lot of Black men. I know 2 dudes who voted for Donald Trump. Right. I know a lot of Black men.
Right.
A lot.
It's a bubble, I think, that we're in of people. Yeah. You could literally break it down. College educated Blacks were with her. Yeah. Blacks from big cities were with her. But there are a lot of even brothers from big cities. But I want to, since you and I are both hip hop heads, I want to talk a little bit about this whole thing about these hip hop artists. Because it wasn't just Snoop. I mean, Nelly also performed.
Nelly was there. Rick Ross was there.
Soulja Boy is big time for Trump. Of course, obviously Kanye, whatever he calls himself now, Ye, whatever. The one that really shocked me was Ice Cube, who I don't think he came out for Trump, but he's Trump curious. He's open to Trump, but and he was the one who was like F Donald Trump. Like there's a sense that hip hop didn't stand. I mean, like didn't stand firmly, I should say, against them. There are some who did. Kendrick Lamar, I think, has been really good. What do you make of the number of hip hop artists, particularly, and I hate to say it, Gen X hip hop artists who seem to be Trump adjacent,
and men, not the women, because I don't think.
Well, Sexy Red was for a minute, but then she backed off. Somebody educated Sexy Red. Well, yeah,
but she ain't Gen X though.
No, she's not Gen X. She's young. She's a kid. But I mean, as far as Gen X rappers, there are no Gen X female rappers at all. It's the Gen X brothers. It's Gen X men that were in the hip hop game that seem to be open. Not all, but there is a slice of them. What do you make of it?
Quid pro quo. Some of it's a money grab. I know that the man who started Death Row, Harry O, was pardoned by Donald Trump. He's very good friends with Snoop. Now Snoop will say that I didn't go to a Donald Trump rally. I went to a crypto DJ the crypto thing for a friend, but it was during that week and it was during that time, and it was And I'm really cool with Snoop, but I mean, I don't agree. I'm cool with a lot of people who ideas I don't agree with, and things I would never do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would have never seen me.
Oh no, I'm a huge Snoop fan. It was so disappointing because I'm a fan, you know.
Yeah,
so
I think a lot of it's a money grab, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I think if somebody's paying these guys $2-3 million to show up somewhere for an hour, because this is what those crypto people do. You know, they have so much money that they will pay us a person like a Snoop or Rick Ross or somebody.
Oh yeah,
and
Rick.
It's the optics of it all, right? Look, even these guys are with us. You know what I'm saying? The optics of it, a picture's worth 1,000 words, man. Sometimes it's worth $2 million. You know what I'm saying? And
for sure.
More than that. So, you know, if you're paying somebody $2-3 million, I mean, morals and standards sometimes it goes out the window. Maybe not Snoop so much, but a lot. Every other person who you name, I'm not surprised that they would sell whatever they have to, you know, for a couple of $1 million. You know, I don't know what Nelly's doing now. I don't see him in movies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his catalog is amazing. He's got diamond albums, but I don't, you know, maybe he can tour. I don't know. But Soulja Boy, hadn't seen him in a long time. I know he was selling video games.
I mean, he had the one hit.
Yeah, the one. He had a couple of hits. He had some. He had.
You.
He had Superboy, Superman, but he had.
I mean, name another Soulja Boy song. I
like "Kiss Me Through the Phone." I like "Throw My Swag On." I like "Throw My Swag On." I love that song. Hop up, my
That's true.
That was still like 15 years ago. That was 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, but so it's like somebody's paying him $1 million. What is he going to do? Say no? Yeah. I mean, he doesn't seem too political to me. It's like I doubt a Soulja Boy is even registered to vote.
This is the thing that a lot of these folks are not political and not registered to vote. I agree with that.
They don't care about the optics. They really, I mean, you know, they don't really care about the optics.
It's a check.
Yeah, so I mean, they can be bought. I'll just say that. You know.
Well, Omar, we could talk to you, cousin,
sure.
forever and ever. We adore you, but I know you got a baby to get to.
I got a baby. I hear him out there crying.
Now that you have incarcerated yourself in fatherhood again, and you know, because you got older.
Son.
It's lifetime.
I know, man. I know. I'm so excited about the son. I've raised 2 amazing women. They are gifts that I have given to the world. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to see what I can do.
Now you got your baby boy. Keep him out of the manosphere, though. Watch out for the manosphere.
Exactly. Oh no, he ain't even. He won't even. That won't even be a part of it.
That'll be gone by the time.
No, I mean, it probably won't be gone, but it won't be a part of whatever he's around. Man, you know, that's another thing. It's like, do I want to raise my son in LA or do I want to raise him in Atlanta?
Good Atlanta.
My wife been talking about. She's from Macon, and you know, I'm from Decatur.
You have a jam down, girl.
Yeah. Yes. No, I said Macon.
Macon.
Oh, I thought you said she was Jamaican.
No. She's from Bibb County. She's from Bibb County.
How did y'all meet?
We met at Toronto Film
Festival. Macon, Georgia.
When I was doing the world premiere for Harriet. Yeah.
Got you.
Oh, I'm so glad y'all found.
Sorry, West Indians, we came close.
I know, right? Yeah.
I love that. I love that you. How long have y'all been married now? Like about 3 years?
About 2.5 right now. Yeah.
2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you enjoying being a newlywed? Because I feel like that's still newlywed territory.
It is newlywed, but man, you know what? Okay, so during the strike, it was so much fun. We had all the time in the world to spend together.
Aww.
Now we back working all the time. It's like, man, so we said we're going to designate 2 weeks. We have all of these vacations that people have given us, right? That we have not been able to go on because we've been so busy. So we said, like sometime in April, probably for 2 or 3 weeks in April, we're going to designate 2 weeks to go. We have Hawaiian vacations. We have Bora Bora, these different things that people have given us. It's like we're just going to go somewhere for 2 weeks. We can't turn our phones off, but like turn the social media off at least. You know what I'm saying, and don't worry about anything. Because right now she's directing the new Ryan Murphy show, All's Fair, with Glenn Close and all of that. She's at work right now. So
is that the one with Kim Kardashian?
Yes, it is with Kim Kardashian and Niecy Nash and Glenn Close. This is the most insane cast I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it's Naomi Watts, it's Glenn Close, it's Niecy, it's Tiana Taylor, who my wife said she's tremendous. And of course Kim is in it, but Ann O'Neill. It's ridiculous.
What's it called?
It's called All's Fair. It hadn't come out yet.
It's illegal. Isn't it a legal show?
Yeah, it's about a law firm. Yeah. So she's actually
on the list.
She's directing the finale right now. So yeah, it's she's So I think she'll be done with this week, and then we're gonna start looking at vacations because we both need one.
I love that. Well, we're going to support everything she does, like we support everything you do. So that's an extension. She's an extension of you, so we love her automatically.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it, y'all.
All right. Well, you got to come back. It's an open door. And maybe I'll take you up on the mayor's ball next year. And when
I get back in town, hey, what part of town are you in?
I'm in Decatur. I'm right. I'm
East side. All right. So I mean, like I said, I got a crib in Decatur. I got a couple houses in Decatur, but our main place is in Brookhaven, so we both DeKalb County.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we'll figure it out. We're gonna figure it out.
Yes, please.
And I'm the +1. You gotta take me, Jackie.
Yes, you gotta take me.
I absolutely will, Tabitha.
Yes, Tabs. Yes, Tabs.
I hate you, but I love you.
I know. That is so true.
This is 2020 Tony on my sweatshirt. Rest in peace, Dwayne.
I can't see it. That's cute. Amen. I love that.
Yes, rest in peace, Dwayne. Yeah, man. All right, family. Love y'all.
All right, that does it for this episode of Read This, Read That. We love our cousin Omar so much.
Me too.
Love him.
He's adorable. He is.
And you said it here. We're gonna go to the mayor's ball.
We're going to this ball, and we have so much lead time to think about our outfits.
Yes.
Listen, I'm gonna come to your house and do my hair and makeup over there. We get a hair and makeup person to come by the crib. That way I can get a room down. Mama.
Did you hear him? We got to get a room downtown.
Oh, no, we don't get a room downtown. You're right.
Yeah, we got to get a room downtown.
Okay, we'll get a room downtown so we can use it to dress and get ourselves together, right? Yeah. And chill. We can order food, get our hair and makeup done. It'll be fun, girl. It's gonna be great. And then we'll just be cute and dressy, and then put back our sweats when we're done and leave. When we leave.
Yeah, I have all these months to wrap my head around.
So many months. You have months to think about it and get yourself mentally prepared.
I'm so over stuff. Okay. But anyway.
What if we promise there'll be a deer and an antelope and a squirrel?
Tabitha, I'm not playing with your behind. No. Thank you all for joining us for Read This, Read That. We appreciate you so much. Our love to Omar, of course. He can always come back here. We love him so much. Yes. But in the meantime, please go to joyandread.com and subscribe and follow all the things that Joy-Ann is doing and that she has coming up. She has a amazing newsletter. I guess it's a blog type newsletter. You'll sign up and you'll see over on Substack. She's writing every day new pieces, and we love it because they're so brilliant and so insightful to what's going on. So follow her and keep up. I know so many people in our comments are like, oh, we miss her on TV. Well, you can see her not only here on Read This, Read That, but also you can subscribe and just get the outpourings of her mind into words in her blog that she's writing over on Substack.
Thank you so much. And of course, you can follow Dr. Doolittle here over at Vegan Sexy Cool, because of course, if you love animals like this lady love animals, and I don't think anybody loves animals like she loves animals. Miss Jackie Reed, literally, I'm surprised her whole house is not a barnyard. Like they're all going to move in eventually. Because they know who she is. They know that she's the soft one in the Reed family. And so you can follow her at vegansexycool.com, because not only does Miss Jackie Reed love animals, she also has great ideas for how you can actually protect animals by going vegan. I actually aspire to do this. I just don't have the strength and the creativity.
You do.
I don't. We're going to talk about that in another episode. I just don't have, I'm not creative enough to be vegan. But there's vegan, and also you can also be sexy and cool. Who wouldn't want to be that? Like, what's wrong with you? And so you can follow her there. But there's also the Jackie Reed Experience, which is Jackie's new and amazing new offering. And it is like all the things, whether it's talking about like entertainment. She is the guru. She's my guru when it comes, other than pop viewers. I'm either on pop viewers trying to figure out what to watch, or I just text Jackie Reed, because she knows about every show, every new thing that's coming out, lots of pop culture stuff, and just learn all the good things about, she'll give you little tidbits about her really incredible, amazing past, which she needs to write a whole book about. But until then, we're going to go with the Jackie Reed Experience. And you can also follow us. Not only should you be liking and subscribing right here below, just click that little like. Yes, click the little subscribe, give us some comments, because Jackie Reed will, weirdly enough, pick random comments that all agree with her. And so as long as you agree with her, you're going to get your comment right on the show. Also, you can subscribe to us on Instagram. We are also Read This, Read That on Instagram. Be sure to spell it right, REID. And I think that's all the places. Oh, and on Substack. Subscribe to our Substack. Yeah. Amen. Read This, Read That on Substack. So you can get all the updates when we will be on the road. We will be taking the show on the road at some point. You're going to want to know where we are so you can come and meet us because you're also our cousins and we love you.
Yeah, Substack is going to be our hub. Joy-Ann put me on the Substack. She was like, that needs to be the hub for Read This.
Gotta do it.
And once I looked into it and she explained it to me, I was like, you are correct. So next week, we're going to have new content coming out there. We put together a whole plan of what to give you over on Substack, something special. And we have some new things coming on our YouTube channel as well. So subscribe everywhere.
Everywhere. Why not?
I mean, I know. For now, for some people. for now. But just gonna a little soon coming soon. We'll see. I love that. But I do want to say really quickly, because I couldn't say it during my wind down because Tabitha was in full mode. I just want to say that one show that I really want everybody to lean into is The Residence on Max. No, I'm sorry, it's on Netflix. Starring Uzo Aduba as a detective, very Sherlock Holmes-esque. And it's a murder mystery within the White House. And it's
Shondaland.
Shonda Rhimes is one of the executive producers. She's not the creator of it. I can't remember the man's name who created it. This thing, the cast is incredible. Of course, I binged the whole thing. You're not going to believe who did it. It is so good and brilliant. She needs to win all the awards for this character. She is so confident and brilliant. They call her the best detective in the world. Please watch The Residence. Let us know in our comments, if you're watching it, if you're loving it, where you are with it. That and White Lotus, I'm loving right now. White Lotus season 3 is so good. So those two things I highly recommend. Yeah, The Residence. Please, you gotta watch. By the way,
can I just tell you, I am now old and I realized that was Uzo Aduba. I have it saved in my next thing to watch. I have it saved in there, and I watched the trailer like 8 times. I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to watch this. But I was trying to finish a couple other shows before I could get to it. Baby, I did not know that was Uzo, and I love her. She did a whole new look for herself. She looks amazing, and I cannot wait to watch.
Yeah, she's a lead, so we definitely want to support it. And in addition to her being the lead, it is brilliant.
Cannot wait.
It's so well done. You're gonna love it. So try to watch.
The trailer is fun. Like the trailer makes you really want to watch it.
Everything, and you'll love it, Joy-Ann, because it really lines up. They talk about so much of the history of the presidents and their experience. So there's a lot of historical aspects to it. It's so good. It's so good. That's all I'm going to say. I love it. I don't want to give too much away, but the whodunit is crazy when you find out. All right. Thanks, you guys, for watching. We will see you next week. But please, as Joy-Ann said, subscribe, comment. We love to hear from you, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.